this video is for my baddies who would always hear, oh, she does so well in class, but I wish she would participate more. Ooh, get a band. Now I'm pissed, we don't do that here.
But so long as you fight it, it is.
Okay, but anyways, first off, I wanted to thank y'all for 11 subscribers. We up. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but as a person who saw that number go from 0 to 11, it feels like a lot, and I've been here through it, and I've been putting in the work, and it just feels like a little slice of cake, being like, here you go, keep going. So if you see me moving to LA, like changing my personality, getting invited on brand trips, just know, like, I'm famous now, so, you know. But anyways, today we're talking about why being quiet is a strength. As a person who is quiet, shy, I really don't like using those words because personally I don't believe that I'm shy. I think that's just like a label that other people have presented on me. I feel like growing up, a question I have been asked a lot is, why are you so quiet? Me personally, I have never understood this question because I honestly equate the question to what is wrong with you. Essentially, like, that's what they're asking from my eyes, from my point of view. Because to me, like, being quiet is my default. If I don't feel the need to contribute to a conversation, I simply won't. And I don't feel the need to fill silence because I'm uncomfortable with it, because I'm really not uncomfortable with it at all. Me personally, I have a lot going on in my head, and so honestly, I can be more consumed with that than like the conversation that I'm having if I'm like too in my head and like spiraling. So I never really understood that question of like why people would ask that to you. Does there need to be a reason, and like also does everyone have to be like outgoing and contribute to a conversation? I don't think a person necessarily owes you that unless you're actively trying to get information out of them. But I don't know, it's just a weird world that we live in. I honestly viewed my like shyness, my quietness as a weakness for so long because people would tell me like, oh, you need to talk more, like you don't talk, like what are you wrong with you, what do you have to say? Like, and I'm just like, if I don't feel the need to contribute to a conversation, I really won't, because I don't like having conversations that have no meaning. Like if we're just talking about the weather, that seems like a waste of my time and energy, so why would I give that to you? But over time, I've come to realize that silence can be a power, and quietness is often related to silence because you're not talking. Shyness can be a power because silence makes people uncomfortable, I've come to realize, because when you have silence, you force people to confront themselves and their inner thoughts and things that they might possibly be suppressing. You essentially hold up a mirror to a person when you're letting them sit in silence, and I realize that can be a power because people often reject silence in order to distract themselves from actually thinking about certain things that they don't want to think about. So they'll distract themselves with social media, as you know, conversations, because they want to have a little escapism, and that's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, but it also can have some detrimental effects if you're not sitting with your thoughts and actually sitting with your feelings and figuring out why you feel like that. I have a quote here that I like. In The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron says, "Most of the time when we are blocked in an area of our life, it is because we feel safe that way. We may not be happy, but at least we know that we are unhappy. Much fear of our own creativity is the fear of the unknown." And I think this relates to being quiet because it relates back to the silence, like I was talking about. If we don't have to confront the silence and sit with our thoughts, then we are essentially comfortable being unhappy. The fear of the unknown, because if we actually sit with our thoughts and think about what our future could look like, that presents the fear of the unknown and the fear of possibly wanting more out of life and actually having to work towards that, because it is hard work. But if a person is asking you like why you don't talk, it is possibly because they are blocked themselves and reject silence in order to escape and not sit with their thoughts. So next time a person asks you, why are you so quiet? Remember that and hold that power and possibly like let them sit with it, because I really think it's beneficial to sit with your thoughts, and because you find out more about yourself as a person and learn more about yourself. Also, with time, I have realized that I didn't need to be like anyone else to be just as valuable as everyone else. Now, with my quietness, I've often tried to change it and just be a person that I really wasn't. For so long, I detested it, and because I thought something was wrong with me, because that's what people told me. Like, oh, you need to be talking more, like you need to be contributing to this conversation, you need to be more energetic, like be more. And I would try to do that, especially in conversations. I would try to be more. Not saying that I wasn't engaged with the conversation, I would just say that like I would be pushing myself to like keep asking questions and keep it going, even if it like wasn't benefiting me at all, or like it just wasn't matching the energy at all. I would still be like, oh, like I need to contribute to this conversation, like I need to do something. But I've come to realize that being quiet is actually my strength, because it has allowed me to be more introspective and observant of myself and others. So I feel like with being quiet, I'm able to sit with my thoughts a lot more and figure out how I'm feeling, because sometimes you just don't know how you feel. I feel that often when I sit with my thoughts, I figure out, oh, I feel this certain type of way, or I don't like that, oh, I like this. And it honestly helps me refine my values as a person and just make sure that I'm following my own moral compass and not have my opinions skewed by other people or outside forces. So for a long time, I did try to change it and act like an extrovert. I tried to just be a person who I wasn't and like make jokes with things that I didn't necessarily like, or just pick up on certain things that people would enjoy. And essentially, I felt like I was performing, and I never want to feel that. If I'm trying to make a friendship with someone, I want it to feel authentic, and I don't want it to feel like I'm forcing anything. That just doesn't seem worth it to me. So when I'm trying to make a friendship, if it's not working and like we're just not matching energies, vibes, then I'm gonna let it go, and I'm not gonna let it affect me, because I don't think that person is meant to be in my life if we're not connecting in a certain way. I'm not trying to say that like you shouldn't be engaging with a person and trying to just talking to people, because I do think that connection is important, but I don't think you should be performing in order to gain those connections, because honestly those connections aren't really built on anything, and they're not built on the trust and foundation of a relationship. So I think we should just skip that altogether. And honestly, it has left me with like a little bit less friends compared to other people, but to me, I would rather have more quality friendships than a quantity of friendships that have no like meaning to them or connection at all. I made this video for the people who have been labeled as quiet throughout their life. I hate that word. That's why I'm putting quotation marks around it, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it just genuinely doesn't make sense to me. Like, a person is not quiet if they don't speak. I think it just means like, hey, like maybe they don't like you. Because honestly, that's been the truth for a lot of reasons why I don't want to talk to someone. If I don't want to talk to someone because I don't like them, like, hey, that's a valid reason, okay? If you're like an extrovert and you can create conversations really easily, I would encourage you not to ask people, why are you so quiet, or make a person feel less than because they're quiet, because honestly, it does nothing. I know it can be like kind of discouraging if a person is not talking to you, but sit with the silence and just feel like confront your own thoughts, and maybe sit with your own feelings and realize, oh, hey, maybe we're not confronting this. Or maybe next time if you reject the silence, then sit with that. I just want to emphasize that nothing is wrong with you if you are labeled as quiet or don't feel the need to contribute to a conversation. Honestly, I feel like give out my energy to people who don't necessarily deserve it a lot of times, just because that's what the world requires of us. And honestly, it's not worth it to give your energy to someone who is just being mean or like making you feel less than. That's not really the goal. So there's nothing wrong with you and honestly view that quietness as a strength, because it is a strength and has the power to make people feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that you should make people feel uncomfortable, but it is a power and can sometimes be necessary when a person is making you feel less than. Make sure you remember you hold a power that people want, because when people are rejective towards the silence, you hold something that they want. You hold the power to sit with your thoughts and actually like yourself and sit with yourself and spend time with yourself, because believe it or not, a lot of people don't like spending time alone or spending time with their thoughts. Actively avoid it. Me personally, I seek it. I am often spending time alone. I make sure that I'm spending time alone, or else I literally go insane. I don't know how people don't spend time alone. Like, it's actually crazy to me. But next time a person makes you feel less than, just remember you have a power. I've also noticed that because I wouldn't say withhold my words, but because I'm very intentional about what I say and who I'm talking to, I've often noticed that my word has more power. So an example of this would be my friend group. Like, one time we were at Cane's and like everyone was talking and laughing, and then I just put my hand on my friend's shoulder just for fun. I didn't know why I did it, but I just did it for fun. I was like, and then suddenly everyone stopped talking and then looked at me, and I was like, oh my, the floor is mine. I wasn't intending to talk, but everyone stopped and looked at me like she's about to say something. Everyone get quiet. Like, yeah, that also is another reason. If you are more intentional about your words and say stuff that you actually mean, I feel like your words have more power and more the ability to touch people more. Honestly, I think that's more powerful than just saying everything and people not taking it or reciprocating it. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are quiet, shy baddie, whatever, I hate that word, but if you relate to this experience at all growing up or just anywhere in life, make sure to leave a comment of your experience and be like, hey, I also heard that growing up. Oh, I also hate that question because I hate that question. I also hate that word. Just want to make sure that you remember there's nothing wrong with you and you hold a power that other people want. So use that power to your advantage. I often realize that our weaknesses are actually our strengths in disguise, and it really is just a matter of figuring out how to use that weakness to your strength. So that is how I use my quietness as my strength within my life. I would not change it about myself. I honestly love it. If that's a journey you're embarking on, I wish you luck, and here are some advice that you could use. Ooh. Have y'all seen those like ASMR videos where it's like visual ASMR? Maybe I should be an ASMR channel. I think I missed my calling. Okay, I'm done. Okay, bye. See you next week. I'm trying to be more consistent. Okay, I promise. For you baddies. I never told anyone this, but I had another YouTube channel. It was like one that I've had since I was a child, and I have like 26 subscribers on there. But then one time I saw that on my like analytics, all of my audience was male. Like, it was like 100% male, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to retreat from this. I have to go to the female baddies. Like, I don't like males. Like, males cannot be here. If you're a male, this might be a little bit uncomfortable, but you're welcome to stay. I don't really care who watches this. But 100% male, I couldn't do that.